guys, we're back again for our second Halloween look, and I'm so excited. I'm pushing myself a little bit out of my comfort zone here with these, but I'm glad you're joining me for it, and hopefully we have a lot of fun together. So today's look is going to be a mask, essentially. One half of my face is going to look like it has on makeup and the other doesn't, and it's going to look like I'm taking the makeup mask off, hopefully at the end. So what I'm going to do to start off is go ahead and take foundation kind of in a shape approximately like this, like kind of start halfway through my forehead down and come around this eye and down on my cheek, okay? So here in just a second, whenever I skip forward, that's what you're gonna see me doing. You're gonna see me putting my face on and filling in my eyebrow on the side that will have makeup. Here we go. Okay, foundation and my one eyebrow are both on. So next I'm gonna step into concealer. I'm gonna take just a little bit up here above my eyebrow to kind of carve that brow out a little bit. Under my eye, of course, down the center of my nose, and then maybe a little bit right here on my Cupid's bow and on my chin. So after we do concealer, we will move into blush and then contour. I'm really into mulberry shadow scents right now for my blush, so I'm going to pop a little bit of that on the apples of my cheeks and blend it back a little bit. And then I'm going to go into our translucent natural powder, and I'm going to take a little bit of Wet n Wild powder contour over top of that to contour my cheekbones, and maybe, I haven't decided yet, maybe hit a little bit of this side of my nose. So again, I'm gonna fast forward you through this so you can watch it in fast action, and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, got a little bit of powder there. So far, so good. I'm actually kind of loving the way my contour turned out. Probably the best, in my opinion, that it's ever looked. I wonder if it's that new Jeffree Star brush I just tried out, or if it's just using the powder, or maybe just finally, after all this practice, I'm seeing some improvement in my techniques. So here's what we're gonna do next. We're going to highlight the nose and the tops of the cheekbones, and maybe just a little bit right here under the brow. Actually, I'm gonna hold off on the brow. So we're gonna highlight the top of the cheekbone on this side, the nose and the Cupid's bow, and then we're gonna move into eyeshadow and mascara, I believe. So I'm going to use a little tiny bit of our pearlizer. A little dot is plenty. This is actually going to end up being probably too much. That's about what I use when I do both sides of my face. But this pearlizer is the most natural looking highlight. It's really pretty. So I'm just using like a stippling motion right there on the highest part of my cheekbone. Here in just a second, I'll go through and kind of blend that further with my brush. And now I'm gonna take what's left on the lid. I'm gonna take it down the center of my nose. Since I have extra, I may do a little bit right here in the center of my forehead. And Cupid's bow, if I didn't say that already. So just windshield wiper motions down the bridge of my nose, starting at the bridge of my nose down to the tip. Now on my Cupid's bow, on my chin, basically where I put that concealer earlier in my T-zone. So on my chin, Cupid's bow, we already ran it down my nose, and with a little bit that's left, I'm gonna go right here in the center of my forehead. And now that all of the product is gone off my brush, I'm just gonna go back in on the high point in my cheekbone and stipple it some more to just further diffuse and blend that out. Look how pretty that is all together. Now, this is just me being a little bit extra, but I'm taking my blush brush, no extra product, going back in on my cheeks and kind of stamping anything that's left back onto the apple of my cheek, especially where I did my contour after blush today. I really want all this to kind of mesh and melt together. And maybe you saw me in the fast forwarded portion, but I did put a teeny bit of blush right here on the apple of my cheek. I didn't really blend it back, and I did not contour because the mask is gonna come right through here, down, around, and then cut down. So I did want a little bit of color there, but I didn't wanna go too crazy. All right, so we're going to start on the eye. The dog, the gator, she is just, never gets any attention, you all. Never, none at all. So I'm gonna start on my eye with Candlelight as my base, as always. This is gonna cancel out any unevenness in color and basically act as my primer for my lid. And I always just blend this out with my finger. So using that leftover concealer earlier mixed with Candlelight is gonna give us a really good base. And it's gonna help all this shadow show up as vividly and true to color as possible. So I think I wanna go for a more natural look on the done up side. So that being said, I think I'm going to, I'm gonna go in my crease with Mulberry to kind of tie in my blush. Just gonna put that right here and use it as my transition color. Okay, I'm gonna go into that one more time. Shadow Sense is really, really pigmented, so it's always best to use light layers, basically. Go in small and then build if you want more. You can always add more, but it's a lot harder to take away and basically go back and start from scratch. So I'm gonna go in back into my transition area and take Mulberry to deepen it just a little bit. And just with what's left over, I'm gonna go ahead and run that under my bottom lash line. Okay, what do I want to do now? I'm debating on Dusk Shimmer or shell glitter for the inner portion of my lid. But I do need to deepen my crease a little bit further. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a little teeny bit of rustic brown and I'm gonna mix it with Dusk Shimmer, and I'm gonna use that to deepen the crease right here because I don't think Dusk Shimmer is gonna be dark enough to do it on its own. And then I'm gonna take Shell Glitter, and that's gonna be on the inner portion of my eyelid. Okay, so I did on the back of my hand about 2 to 3 parts Dusk Shimmer, 1 part Rustic Brown. I'm just gonna do the tiniest little bit on the tip of my brush, and I'm gonna use that basically to deepen the crease. So I'm gonna go in the same exact area as I did with Mulberry, but I'm gonna go a little bit lower and deepen that crease. So it's gonna cross over into the transition area a little bit, but you're still gonna see the top of it. Okay, so that wasn't as scary as I thought. I'm gonna load a little bit more onto my brush and go in again. Okay, that's really pretty. All right, I'm gonna take that same color that I pre-mixed, and I'm gonna take it on the outer V, outer corner, to kind of tie that in. I'm also gonna run that on my bottom lash line as well. Okay, I'm going to take a large shading brush, this is really flat, and I'm basically gonna pat Shell Glitter into the lid. I'm not blending this because I want it to stay where I've laid it, where I've placed it, whatever the word would be. So what I think I'm gonna do now is take Rustic Brown and do a really simple liner, and then I'm gonna take it really close to my lash line on the bottom. I am probably just gonna skip forward on this. That way I'm not making this tutorial forever long, but this is the finished eye look. I'm gonna take some snow in my inner corner and my brow bone, and then I'm gonna do a liner and primer and mascara, and I will meet you back here and we'll start drawing out the mask and putting on the lip and all that good stuff. Okay, I'm excited. The last part that will be needed will be after the mask is drawn. I will kind of take this Onyx Shadow Sense and darken the sections by my hair and down here along my jaw to kind of further enhance that shadow and make it look as though I'm taking a mask off of my face. So wish me luck. I'm gonna fast forward. Hopefully we have success and this turns out to be pretty cool. Okay, so I think this is as good as it's gonna get. I feel like I've spent an eternity shading and contouring and attempting to get this right here to look like two different sets of skin. So it actually turned out a little bit better than I thought it was going to. Once I got in it, I was like, holy moly, how am I gonna do this? But basically I took a mix of rustic brown and black onyx shadow scents and created that line that you see, and then I went through and kind of smudged and blended that line and blended and blended and blended and blended that line, and then I went in with some of the same contour powder that I used on my cheekbones and went along that line. And lastly, I took some color correcting tinted moisturizer that I used as my foundation, and I took it back and cleaned up this side of the line to kind of give it that crispness, and that way it would better contrast with the shadow to look more like a mask. So the last thing we are going to do is add the complete shadow, the shadow scents, the onyx shadow scents, and I'm gonna add it right here along my hairline in like almost a half moon shape, and then I'm gonna do the same thing down here along my jawline. So this is gonna be solid black, and hopefully will add even more to the effect of a shadow and me pulling the mask off. Again, wish me luck. We will meet back here for the final look. Okay, here we are, the finished look. So there are some things that I would do a little bit differently next time, but I honestly think that this didn't turn out half bad. I mean, especially since I feel like I have very little artistic ability when it comes to drawing and painting and doing shading and that sort of thing. I do not feel confident in that area, but I think if I hit the angle just right, it looks like it could be a mask. So let's say I turn right here. What do you think? Do you think it looks like a mask? Let me know in the comments. Let me know which Halloween look is your favorite. I will post some pictures as well. And thanks for hanging out with me as always. Share with your friends. I would love it if you did and we had more people to join us next time. Let me know as always if you have any ideas or if you have any questions, and I will see you guys later. Bye.